Hello, hello. It is day 192 of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey. It is October 31st, 2024, and it's Halloween. It is, it's a crazy day, right? We started off by sleeping in, so that just adds to the craziness. That uh, late start, that rushing to get out the door kind of energy is never the greatest. So there was that. Um, Still really noticing a lot of um, cancellations, a lot of people not being, most likely, my guess is most people not being caught up in life, just being overwhelmed and therefore missing things, right? So, um, I'm just finding that it's continuing to be a pattern. It's continuing to be a thing, and not so much for me as for um, my clients or like people who've booked calls with me. So that's very interesting. I'm just finding everything very. It almost is like an experiment lately, where it's just sort of like I'm watching and noticing all of the things that um, all of like the signs and symptoms and whatever. It's like I could be doing a science experiment and just keeping track of all of the data that comes in. Like it's very, very interesting to me to notice these patterns collectively because it's not the same people again and again, it's different people. Um, so that is really interesting. And I'm not entirely sure how relevant it will be to this episode, but it just is something that's been on my mind. So, um, yeah, as far as suspending disbelief goes, um, today was just sort of a regular day, right? Like it's getting costumes on the kids and getting them to school and doing the things. So, um, I I had some synchronicities that sort of came through as well that were just like, um, you are how do I explain this? Sometimes it's hard to explain synchronicities without giving a whole ton of backstory. um, yeah, I'm not sure. It's sort of just like this. There's little reminders everywhere of like everything is possible and the magic of the universe, God, universe, source, um, where the strangest things can happen. Like um, hmm, this is really hard to sum up. So, um, just for example, so I have four podcasts, and one of them is a Bingeable Business Trainings podcast, and I threw it up, um, like the first season of it, just sort of all at once. I took a bunch of business trainings from my Butterfly Network, and I just put them all on this podcast, and they've been sitting like that for a while, and I have now got, well, this year, halfway through the year, I decided like there's such a stockpile of trainings for my Butterfly Network for my business ladies, um, that I'm not going to continue to do a monthly training, especially at the wildly low price that I have the Butterfly Network at. So I was like, it's just a lot to add to my schedule to um, a lot of them aren't even caught up on all of the ones that have been done, and new people coming in. There's a year and a half worth. There's a whole library of trainings. So I was like, I'm going to stop including that as part of the monthly price just because it's just doesn't make sense. And um, when I decided that, I was like, okay, well, I also have like old trainings in my main group. I've got like all kinds of things that I can pull from and have another whole year's worth. Like have another 12 trainings for another season. So I started pulling those and grabbing them and uploading them and all of this stuff so that I could have them set aside, do the editing, get them uploaded. And that reminded me, like when I first dropped the first season, I did not like at all edit those episodes. I did not cut out like the beginnings of like these were lives that I did. So at the beginning it would be kind of like, okay, am I live? Like waiting for people to show up, things like that. So um I had originally intended and always meant to go back and just sort of like cut out those beginnings where there's a lot of dead air and nothing really happening, and um, just kind of polish it up, especially because this is going to be a paid podcast. It's not one that I'm going to keep free. And to have it paid, it just feels like I should definitely like polish it up a little bit kind of thing. And anyway, I literally spent a good chunk of time yesterday gathering up trainings for season 2, and I went into like the back end part of the podcast and was looking at the old ones, and um, one of my current clients and friends had dropped a comment on one of the trainings saying like, if you're new to Coach Bree, start at this time. If you've known her for a long time, like you can skip her intro and start at this time. And she had dropped that in the comments, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like that saves me, because I think it was like 10 or 13 minutes in on that one where I was like introducing myself. I was introducing the whole concept of like what I was going to be doing for the Butterfly Network. 'Cause it was right at the beginning. So the very first episode. So it would have been probably my first training that I did in the Butterfly Network. And I was just like, as if that saves me so much time because I need to go in and just clip that out. And the timing of it, right? This is what I mean. So like there's been so many synchronicities like this, but it's like that podcast has been up now for I don't even know how long. Like it's been a long time. it's it's been at least a good 6 months, I think. And the one day that I decide I'm gonna put my focus and my attention on it, all of a sudden I see this comment. And actually she had dropped the comments a couple of days before, but it was there and ready for me for the right timing to become a synchronicity, become a sign that I could see. So I thought that it was just so hilarious, so cool. And this has sort of been just my pattern lately, is just seeing like constant signs and synchronicities, and not little ones, not things that I can just sort of brush off as coincidence or anything like that. Like it's all very, very clear and cut and dry and everything. So um and just startling in the level of like intricacy that the universe can work, that it is like it can literally pull off anything to really prove to you like there's a bigger picture here. So um that's kind of random, but that is what I have for you today, is just this feeling of like there's this awareness of collectively there's something that is really bogging people down, and also this awareness of like, I've suspended disbelief and the universe has got my back, because it's like I just keep getting reminders of like, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm helping, we're co-creating this life of yours together kind of thing. So I find that really cool. And yeah, so that's what I have for you guys today. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.